Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm thrilled that you're here today on this extremely rainy, extremely rainy Monday here in Northern Illinois. And I'm Rita Hickman, body mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women navigate the extreme stresses of life. So whether it comes with mental health or physical health, emotional health, whether it's fibro, rheumatoid arthritis, stress, bipolar, living or dealing with, people who've got issues. Hey, Barbara, our world has gotten so complex and so difficult anymore that we really all need a lot of help. This is just not a time where you can cruise, where, I don't know if you look around and see too many people who are like, oh yeah, life is great, everything's going awesome. No, people are struggling with a lot of things. And, this is a time, hey, Hannah Lisa, this is a time when everybody's really trying to, struggle with what's going on in the world. And so if you aren't alone. But here's the thing. I mean, really, the world has had its own unique kinds of stressors for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And one of the tools I love to use is Asian medicine. And let me give you, yeah, it has been a long time, Barbara. I'm so glad you could show up. So, thousands of years ago, Japanese warriors were in battle. And they used all of these wooden weapons. And when they used the wooden weapons, they would get splinters in their hands, and they'd get splinters in their body. And these splinters, they found after a while, created different experiences, different things. They found that a splinter here would make you feel, calmer or more relaxed. A splinter there would bring down inflammation. A splinter there helped deal with different illnesses that they had. It was really, really fascinating. And over those thousands of years, with the warriors being, many of the main scientists for it, because they were the ones that needed the most healing, they created Asian medicine, and specifically my specialty, which is acupressure, which are so acupressure is where you work on points on your body. Hey, Kathy. And these points are associated. Hey, Jen's here too. Wow, I haven't seen you in like a million years. So where acupressures are points on the body that are associated with different mental, emotional, and physical issues. Now, I decided to do this topic today because yesterday I was pretty stressed out, and I was trying to sleep. And while I was sleeping, and the storms, raging back and forth, and I said, you know what? I'm going to work on the acupressure points on my hands. And so there are a lot of acupressure points on the body that when you work them, they will make you feel different ways. You've probably heard of where, you can put, different acupressure points for smoking or different acupressure points for relaxation or wellness. And it's true. Now, many people wait to use acupressure or acupuncture when it's way too late, when they're, oh, I froze up. When it's way too late, when they've used up all of their resources, they're stressed out, they've taken all the medication, and they're over the top. The thing with things like acupressure and Asian medicine is they're best used when you aren't too far along. So when these Japanese warriors would use acupressure and they'd use the medicine that they were learning about the body, they didn't have the stressors of medication, of environment. They just had the situation that they were in. So these tools and techniques worked much better for them because they weren't bombarded. They weren't being physically bombarded by everything going on. So the way we adjust to the world we live in now is you have to start using these tools way before you need them. You have to start using them when something's a small problem rather than a big problem. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, science has been supporting that there are channels that run through the body. Really cool stuff. You know, in Asian medicine, this has been around for forever, for thousands and thousands of years. However, in modern medicine, they've finally been able to get enough scanners and enough money to research it to discover that there are these channels, that they can be physically mapped throughout the body, and they are the meridians. Now, these meridians are associated with all sorts of different parts of your body. Now, maybe you've heard this is the liver meridian, or this is the heart meridian, or this is the stomach meridian. And what they mean is more metaphorical. The thing about older medicines, and especially older cultural medicines, is because they didn't have the they didn't have the imaging technologies, they didn't have the technologies, and so what they used is they used metaphors to describe things that were going on. And so when they would talk about, let's say, the stomach meridian, they wouldn't just be talking about things having to do with your stomach. They'd also be talking about the metaphor of the stomach. What does the stomach do? It digests things. It helps you understand what's going on better. And so when they would talk about the stomach meridian, they would talk about not just the physical aspects of it, but they would talk about the mental and the emotional aspects of it too, the beliefs and the ideas associated with it. Metaphors talk to the body in really, really powerful ways. They talk to our subconscious, and they're a big piece of the placebo effect, all of those stories. So when they would break it down into all of these channels, and they say, this is the stomach channel, this is the liver channel, this is the heart channel. As I said, they weren't just talking about those organs. They were also talking about everything that was associated with it, kind of multidimensionally, but they'd also be talking about everything that would affect it on either end. So kind of like in Native American medicine, hey, Melissa, they would talk about, let's say you had a hawk as a totem, and they would want you to not just look at the hawk, they'd want you to look at what kills the hawk and what the hawk kills. You know, they'd want you to look at all the different associations around the hawk to understand a much better in context of what's going on. Hey, Anne Louise. So when we talk about the meridians, and when we talk about the stomach meridians, or the liver meridians, or all of those things, or the points, we were talking about everything that's associated with the two. Everything that's predator and prey, we're putting it into context. So you can't just talk about the stomach. You also have to talk about the things which might affect the stomach, and how they would affect the stomach. And that's why Asian medicine ends up being really, really complex. People confuse shiatsu with Thai massage a lot because we use a lot of the same tools and techniques. But shiatsu is based on this idea that you can completely affect mental health, emotional health, and physical health through these points on the body. So you find these channels, and they have different associations and different metaphors to them. And then they have points on these channels, and these points have beautiful, beautiful metaphorical names. And it's such a lovely context. And you can use these points, and these points will affect everything that's along that channel. So let's say we're talking about the stomach and the ability to digest things. If you work on different points on that channel, you're working on the different aspects, the different lenses or sides of what the stomach does. So it's almost like you can really pinpoint and really narrow down what specific aspect of that stomach and stomach metaphor that we're talking about. It's very cool. So you can work on really specific and really pinpointed sort of things going on. And that's why they can say different points are associated with different mental health, emotional health, and physical health. They help put you into balance. So what happens when we work these points? What happens when we hold them? So in places in the body, because of either a nervous system blocking something or scar tissue or muscular issues or something like that, we can get blocks. Things can get in the way of good circulation, of things moving up and down these channels. And they're called energy channels for lack of a better understanding. And energy to Asian medicine is life force. It's all of that life. So when you work different points on the channel, you are working, you're either opening up the channel so that life force can flow, or you are pulling energy to different parts of the channel, different things which have been neglected or which are empty. When we talk about working acupressure points, we usually say they're either full of energy or they're empty of energy. And so my job as a healer type is to feel what's going on in the body, find the areas which are empty of energy and pull energy to them, and find the areas which are too full of energy and help get the energy to move through, get the blocks out of the way. And I do that simply by holding. And I've talked about this in different videos, where wherever you focus, wherever you pay attention to, is where your body sends life and blood and nervous system signals and all that other good stuff. So wherever you put your focus or wherever you hold, let's say an acupressure point, that's where the body says, hey, you want me to pay attention to that? All right, I will. That's cool. So then it will send its resources there. And that's how I'm able to pull energy to different points or different mental health parts of the parts of us. And that's how I'm able to unblock and flush out things which are getting in the way of mental, physical, and emotional health. So really, as a healer, my job is to help the body heal. I'm there to talk to the body and tell it what I want it to do, tell it what direction I want it to go, and then the body responds. So I'm like a translator. I'm like a guide telling the body what needs to be done in order to heal itself. And I find the mental, physical, and emotional issues by feeling the body and feeling which areas feel like holes, feel like they're empty, like there's nothing underneath it, and finding the areas that feel like they're full, like like there's a pushback, like there's too much going on in there, too much fluid, too much something, and draining it out. And when you do that, you not only feel better, you not only get your inflammation down, you not only get all of those things back in balance, but you mentally physically, and emotionally feel better. So last night when I couldn't sleep because I couldn't relax, my main focus was, all right, what are the points that will help me relax, that will help me feel better? And so I simply just laid on a couple points in my hands, because they're in a lot of great ones are in your hands or in your feet. They aren't all really difficult to reach. A lot of them are in your face or in your head or your shoulders. And I simply rested my fingers there, and I could feel my body relax step by step by step, because I was talking to that point, and that point was associated with the thoughts and the feelings and the stressors that I was dealing with. Hey, Dina. And it allowed me to relax so that I could sleep. So it's really fascinating that Japanese warriors, because of the war that they were in and all of these splinters, that they were getting in their body, so much time and not having a lot of great medicine, like we do now, were really able to study what made you feel better, what made you feel worse on the body, and how to use it. So we're going to be talking about Japanese medicine, Asian medicine many times this week, and acupressure points and different things that you can use for different issues, and how to find them on yourself, and how to use them to feel better. Because I use acupressure points all the time for not only in my career to help people, but also for myself to help myself feel better too. And there's all sorts of neat tips and tricks that if you use them quick enough, if you use them before you get too far down the road, you can course correct pretty fast. So Asian medicine is used best to course correct a situation before it becomes too big of a problem. Like the first night you're having trouble sleeping, not the 10th night you're having trouble sleeping. Okay? Oh, I'm glad you're excited about it, Kathy. Yeah, I haven't talked about acupressure points before. And some of the real specific things. And I've collected great information over the years. One of my favorites is a book called Acupressure for Emotional Health. And it pinpoints the different points that you can use. Haha, pinpoint points. It pinpoints the different points you can use for different situations, whether it be anger, grief, jealousy, sadness. And, so many people think of acupressure points as acupuncture, where you put needles in the points to stimulate it for physical health. But for emotional health especially, there's a lot of great stuff going on. So just remember that, it is a great book. It's a lot of fun. Just remember that acupressure is something that you can use wherever you want to, wherever you are, in the bathroom, in the middle of a meeting. I mean, you can easily hold points and have it be super unobtrusive and not have it be a big deal. You can totally do that anywhere that you're at. Or if you're home, you can lay on a ball or lay on something that will press those points. These are things that you can do. Or even stretching the whole meridian will clear a lot of things out. So acupressure points are kind of like a magic pill, where you can really super specific work on something, work on an issue that you've got, especially if you're doing it on a regular basis, and start to resolve it, start to open it up. And so yeah, it is really fun how we're going to do this. Okay, so I'll look forward to seeing you all this week. And I'll pull out all of my great information, and let me know what specific stuff you have going on, mentally, emotionally, physically. You don't have to go into the story unless you want to. And, just put some of the emotions or some of the situations that you'd like some insight for, some points to help. And I'll make sure that I gather the information and do videos on those, okay? So love these, like these, share these. It means that more people will get to see this great information. More people will join our tribe and be a part of this group. So make sure that you share it, because the more people that we have pulling together for this, the healthier our whole, okay, no problem, Kathy, the healthier our whole environment and society will be, because we're super affected. Have you ever noticed that when everybody else around you is stressed out, it's hard not to be stressed out too? They've done some great research where if groups come together and then meditate together, that it calms down the whole situation. They did that in New York with crime, where they did a big meditation research. Or maybe it wasn't New York, maybe it was Washington, D.C. I think it was Washington, D.C. And when we come together in a really positive way, it makes differences. But as I said, you can't wait until everything's hell in a handbasket. It's good to do it before something's a problem. So, okay, great. I'm looking forward to this week. And as I said, put in the comments anything that you want me to work on. And I'll look it up and we'll find it. And I'll help you through this. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.